What's going on, y'all? It's Jason Reviews here, back at it again. I hope everyone's week is going great. Happy Friday to everybody. And this weekend, we got Straight To It 3 from RBE. This is a predictions video. I'm just hopping right in. I'm only going to predict some of the matchups here, with full analysis. Some of them I definitely, there's names I'm not quite familiar with. Some of them I'll definitely predict and just give a glaze over, but especially there's 4 or 5 matchups here that I think are spectacular. I've been a humongous fan of the Straight To It series. Obviously, with ARP taking a step back from the big stages, he's going to have max out this year, but overall, he's went with the more small room atmosphere for the year. And I think Straight To It is one of the best things to come out of 2022. Amazing setting, reminds you of that volume 1 through 5. Just a street corner, the real small room setting, crowds involved, but doesn't, completely overtake the battle. And we've gotten great content performances throughout. There's been some mix and match of the names. It seems like some of RB's top shelf roster is a little bit limited, so you're seeing 3 or 4 of the same names moving around, but they definitely haven't ran out of matchups yet, and all they've produced with us is good. So without further ado, let me just get into my predictions. And we're going to start, we're just going to mention the battles from the bottom of the card that I'm not too familiar with. Styles versus Sniper, KT versus Heim, I hope I pronounced that right. Wes Cravey versus M3, Caution versus Taydo are all battles that I'm not very familiar with the talent involved. I know that ARP has started signing contracts, trying to produce more homegrown talent, which I salute to him. I don't really do topic blogs for the most part in this channel, but if I were, I'd love to talk about the way ARP's kind of done RB's business structure. I think that even though they're not, the #1 league in the world, they have a lot of practices that they've done well, and then he always gets ahead of the curve when he sees what's coming up. So I'll definitely give them a watch when the battles drop. Get used to some of the younger talent there, but I'm just not too familiar with their game. But from there, we got Gwitty versus Craig Lamar. More of a funny matchup than anything. Obviously, Craig is bar heavy, but he doesn't get his rounds out. Gwitty is Gwitty. He's good for entertainment, probably, nonetheless. Assuming that Craig gets it all clear, Craig is usually pretty good in small rooms. You look at some of his better battles ever, kind of chokes all over the place. But, Craig versus JC, Craig versus Chef Trez, and even Craig versus Nitty, all are pretty decent performances from him, choke or not choke. So I see Craig coming in here, just better pen, better overall talent, and getting Gwitty 2-1. Next battle, Moon versus Brooklyn Hands. I love Moon. I've always loved Moon. OG talk was fantastic. I think his little PG run on Smack was dope. Obviously, I don't think he puts together 3 rounds of bombs necessarily. We know that he can kind of meander in the head ice direction. Moon and head ice are speaking a language that the rest of us just don't know about. I don't know where to learn it at. I don't know if it's on Rosetta Stone, but sometimes they get into some talk that I just don't understand. So, shout out Moon. But I do love his peaks. Obviously, he has moments of real talk that only an OG, can produce, an older battle rapper. So there's a lot of uniqueness. And Brooklyn Hands is decent. I've never been too crazy on Brooklyn Hands, but what else can you say? He's a solid battle rapper, uses his size to his advantage. I have Moon 2-1, though. I think this battle like this is even better in this kind of setting, but I think the OG talk just takes over. It's my preference here. And then from there, we get to Remedy Loco versus Excel. I know Remedy is starting to make some noise over there on RBE. I know he did very good versus Squiddy. I think the voice changing is a little bit weird, but it's definitely not something I can fully critique. For me, maybe it's just me taking some time to get used to it. A little bit unorthodox, but we've seen that in battle rap before. So not too much of a critique for me, though. It's definitely something that pokes out. Like, let's see how this works over time. But he's got bars. I just don't see it going over Excel. Excel is just Mr. Consistent. There's some of these guys that aren't top-tier names. Some people don't even consider mid-tier names, and they just run around and kill everything on undercards. So, yeah, I got Excel beating Remedy Loco, but, I'm definitely one I'm going to look out for with, Remedy making noise and Excel, in my eyes, being like a worthy, challenging vet. And then from there, we get into O-Red versus Active before we get into, like, the top 4 battles I really want to talk about. And that's a good battle. O-Red is clearly, taking maybe a step down in comp. It's not like he's just hunting out top tiers. We got Active here. He just battled None. So, and also, hopefully we get O-Red versus Drugs this year, by the way. If you haven't seen that, my last video, I was campaigning for that. But I think O-Red's ped can just reach a different level. I think Active's been doing good in this setting. A lot of bully ball, in a battle rap sense. But when O-Red applies himself, even when he comes at 70%, his content is usually just over the moon. And I have O-Red winning this battle clear 2-1, 3-0. And with a lot of the undercard down there, we can get to some of these battles of some of my personal favorite battlers. Obviously top of the card is always going to get a little more talk. But first is Myron versus Enes. Man, Myron is special. And I just want to talk about Myron for a minute. The fact that he does not have more top tier matchups, I don't know if it's ducking. People claim ducking for everything, so maybe it is or isn't ducking. But Mac is hitting his stride now. It's crazy. He used to be just Ill Will's man, but at this point in time, it's almost like 1A, 1B. The separation is Ill Will clearly more, has the bigger resume, has gotten the more moments. Mac has taken some losses coming up. He was definitely a talent that took longer. Will got here first, but as we talk right now, I think Myron is a top tier, top threat level talent. But when there's not the top tier stepping out for him, his name doesn't get to rise like that. But you guys saw he is the battle of the year right now with Bill Collector. I don't believe it's dropped to YouTube yet, but when it does, any of you that haven't seen it, or if you haven't heard of it, you're living under a rock. But yeah, and Enes got a great flow. I think in this setting, he's definitely going to put together moments. The great thing about Straight To It, as far as I've seen, is that even if a battler loses clear, there's respect, moments each ways. It just ends up being good footage. So I don't think that this is going to be, a murder that's going to ruin the footage, but I think it's going to be a murder. Enes just doesn't have the pen to run with Mac. I don't think that he has the bars to run with Mac. A lot of great momentum stuff, a lot of great moments with Ryan Pockets, but Myron's on a whole different level. He's going to win this battle 3-0. And then from there, we need to book Mac versus top tiers. We need to get that, whether it's Max out, I don't know who it is, other league picks it up. We need Myron versus top tiers. Thank you. That's my take on that. And then from there, we get into Rosenberg versus Chef Trez. Now, Rosenberg has had a great year for his stock. The Ill Will win, possibly the upset of the year up to this point. Obviously, we get some shit going on in UM5 that, upsets that can rival that. But 30ing Ill Will, yeah, that's not, people don't really do that anymore. That might have been an early career. Some things happen to Will. DNA, you know what I'm saying? He lost 2-1 clear to Tay-Rock, all that. But Will does not lose 30. Will doesn't lose that often in general, let alone lose 30. So that alone, you get some other battles he's had. A-Ward, even though the quality was down, the fact he is debatable with A-Ward, just the way the Rosenberg's been turning up over there for the past few years on RBE, he's officially made his claim for a top-tier talent. I wasn't a big fan of Rosenberg when I first got into battle rap. We're talking 8 or 9 years ago. I thought I used to be damn near a hater. I'm not even going to lie. There's a lot of things I didn't like about Rose's style, but the flow pockets that he gets into now, his real talk is amazing. His cadence, just another great Philly rapper. Philly stand up, because the past couple of years, between Reed, Easy, Rose, these guys have put Philly back into like one of the more top regions in battle rap at the moment. And Chef Trez is great. We all know about the rebuttal, Mr. 3 of them things, and he's had a pretty good, I think he had a great battle with Jay Murda. And he just doesn't battle as much as he used to. Obviously, there was a point that he was an upcoming, right on the edge of top tier on URL. I think he went the crypto route. We kind of got away from battle rap a little, but we're seeing him step outside more. This should be a good battle. I think name-wise, momentum, most people would have Rose clear. I have Rose 2-1 edge. Chef is really that good. I just think it's been a while since he's, been reminding the fans he's in and he's out, and it's a what have you done for me lately sport. But I have Rosenberg 2-1 edge going in. And possible battle of the night. And you see I say possible for Chef Trez versus Rosenberg, because my actual battle of the night is going to be Reed Dollars versus A-Ward. Reed has been doing amazing things for the past few years. And what's great to see from a vet, and I'm mad, I did not get to review Reed Dollars versus Ill Will earlier in the year like I had planned, but that battle was fire. It's still one of my favorite battles this year. And you can see a lot of OGs that come back to battle rap, old legends or guys we would consider washed or a little outdated. They refuse to, change their style. They get kind of pissy with the fans. They get a little bit bitter. But what you see with Reed is a guy who came in, versus John, that didn't go so well. Battles versus like Clean Paper, and that didn't go so well. Even though I thought he was good versus Chess, thought he made that a good debatable battle. Reed definitely had some growing pains. And then you look at the Nitty battle to now, you're seeing a guy who listened to the critique and played to his strengths. The real talk and cadence. We're in an era now, we're in battle rap. We got into a puncher's era, it was all about the bars, and it still should always be about bars and material, but pure rapping, guys who have amazing cadence, can switch up the flow, and just say real life relatable shit are prospering, beginning to prosper. You look at and it's a movement that you could say was started by Geechee, Easy, whole other debate, but guys like that popularizing it, and now OGs are able to come back with the real talk and be more appreciated than they were, say, 3 or 4 years ago. And that's what you see with Reed. I had him winning versus Ill Will, not a clear, it's a debatable battle. The win versus Nitty, lost to Surf, but had a great performance in that. I've seen a lot of great from Reed. You get battles like the Big K battle, which was definitely nothing to look over. One of the worst battles, probably the Straight To It environment. I was disappointed too, because I thought Reed versus Big K could have been a fantastic battle, but short prep, you can clearly see some things played into that on both sides. And here versus A-Ward, it's not going to be an easy challenge, but to go up against Nitty and get a win, to go against Ill Will, make it competitive, my opinion, get a win. Reed is not a joke anymore, man. The thing is that A-Ward is one of the best battle rappers in the world right now. We obviously saw his 2021 work. And for the past few years, it is just fucking hard to beat this guy clear. Few people have done it, Ilmac and... who else has beat A-Ward clear? I know Excel got him. I think that was more of a fatigue thing. Catches up to everyone. No excuses that we lost to Excel. But point is that, you even look at A-Ward, big stage performance versus Ill Will, made that extremely debatable. Geechee Gotti in the middle of Compton on his home league, and then made that debatable. So this is a tough one. I'm going to have to go with A-Ward just because consistency. Nah, fuck all that. I got Reed. You know what? Yeah, I got Reed, Dallas 2-1. Against my better judgment, I think A-Ward is a little more well-rounded and consistent. But what I love about Reed, man, is he seems to rise to the occasion recently, and he always, when it comes to the toughest matchups, he brings his best effort. Against Will and Nitty, it looks like pressure made diamonds, and you got two fantastic Reed Dallas in that battle. This setting plays to Reed's strengths. The Superman, the blazer fit shit he said to Will, that was unreal. That shit was so fire. Man, I got a lot of love for his style. So maybe it's a little biased because I'm just that much of a fan of Reed's style. But I have Reed 2-1 edge against A-Ward in my actual. I think this will be the battle of the night. And, possibly one of the best battles of the last few months, if not the year. So really, really looking excited to Reed versus A-Ward. And that leads into the last battle of the night. We got 40 Cal versus Big K. There's really not too much for me to talk about here. Obviously, kind of like a celebrity versus, top tier, top guy in the league, type of matchup that we got here. We just saw Big K fucking dispatch of Jay Mills at 60%. Now Jay Mills has spiraled into the delusion. You know what I'm saying? He's hurt. He's bitter. You never like to see a legend kind of go out bitter like that. We don't cover too much drama and stuff on this channel, but... we've seen what's happening to Jay Mills ever in these Straight To It settings, and Big K has a part to play in that. I think he gave him probably the worst loss of the two that he's taken in here. And, I'm personally a really big Big K fan. I think he went from a just pure puncher most of his career. In the last few years, you're seeing a guy put it all together. Comedy, angling. He's a very damn near just an elite angler at this point. You look at angles versus Math. Adi Boom, obviously, knocked off Adi Boom's career. And then even versus Jay the Nightwing, I think he took some particular angles. Third was a little, I don't know about that one, Big K. But overall, I think that Big K is just an extremely well-rounded battler and still one of the best punchers in the world. And 40 Cal exists. I don't really know what to say more besides that. I know that he kind of put a stain on Will's reputation, but he hasn't done anything that's particularly, blown me away. I've seen worse celebrity battlers come back. I've seen slightly better celebrity battlers come back. I have Big K winning 2-1 clear, possibly 3-0. Still got respect for 40, you know what I'm saying? I think that he can put together amazing pure rappers, a reason that we know his name. And this setting is obviously better for the pure rappers, not Jay Mills, because Jay Mills isn't that good. But for most pure rappers, it will. I think 40's a little better, obviously, a little more understands what the crowd wants. I think he put together some highlights, so maybe he makes a round debatable. But I see K taking this way more serious than he took Jay, or than he took Reed. Not that, like I said, prep kind of falls into that. I think they had 5 to 6 days prep for the Reed battle. Still super disappointed, but I think you get a better performance than both of those battles. I think you get a really good Big K. I think Big K just kind of comes in here and wins clear versus 40 Cal. But overall, I love the card top to bottom. even some of the talent that I don't know. But once you get to Gwitty versus Craig and even Moon versus Brooklyn Hands for kind of like that middle tier, I'm not mad at it. I know that it's kind of hard for RB now. It seems like I said, they're kind of maneuvering talent around some of the same names, but as long as he keeps producing good battles, I'm going to be watching. So, Reed Dolls versus A Ward, battle of the night. One of them with performance of the night. Obviously, whoever I think wins, I'll probably give performance of the night to. If no one on this card goes crazy, watch out for Mac. He's gonna do bad things to Enes, I believe, and then watch out for Big K too. So overall, really, really looking forward to this card. And on the road to Nome, this is a little good small room thing that hopefully if they start dropping battles next week, I'll have those reviews out, right in the middle of next week. But overall, guys, it's been J Small Reviews here again. Got some more content coming your way in the coming days this next week. And I'll catch you all the next one. Peace.